Good day everyone! For today, I am going to discuss a quarter 4, 20th and 21st century music multimedia forms. This is another form of art, 'di ba? Yung arts nga ay categorized into two. The first category is what we call the visual arts. Doon nakapaloob yung painting, yung mga drawing, okay? So, mga photography, that is visual art. So, this time naman, we'll be heading on with what we call performance art. In this 20th and 21st century multimedia forms, this opera, ballet, and musical play are the terms or are the lessons we are going to tackle. So, let me start off with opera. Opera in the Philippines. 19th century Filipino opera emerged in the Philippines when foreign performers, including instrumental virtuosi, as well as opera singers and Spanish zarzuela performers, came to the country to perform for enthusiastic audiences. Meaning to say na impluensyahan tayo ng mga foreign performers kung bakit nagkaroon ng opera or Filipino opera dito sa ating bansa. Okay, isa-isay natin yung mga terms na ngayon nyo lang na-encounter or na-encounter nyo na before, nakalimutan nyo yung meaning. Virtuosi or virtuoso, someone who is genius when it comes to music. Yan yung ibig sabihin yan. The other one is zarzuela. Zarzuela is pertaining to the Spanish tradition. Okay? Or the life of Filipino people during Spanish time. That is zarzuela. Okay? So next, let's have the next one. Opera is an art and music form in which singers and musicians perform a dramatic work combining text called libretto. Ano daw ibig sabihin nun? Na yung mga pine-perform ng mga artists for the opera comes from libretto. Or it is an Italian word that means little book, okay, and a musical score. It is accompanied by an orchestra. Ano ba yung orchestra? Pinagsama-samang mga instrument, tama? Or smaller musical ensemble. Okay? The dialogue is entirely sung and not spoken. Okay? So, pag opera daw, ang ibig sabihin nun, lahat ng atake ng buong performances ay puro pagkanta. Kaya, ang kailangan dito, pag sinabi nating opera, ang kailangan na performer dito, yung may mga malalakas ang baga. Kasi nga, hindi ka pwede maubusan ng boses. Okay? So, yung mga talagang veteran or talagang mga nagpe-perform, ang mga ilalagay or ang mga magpe-perform pag sinabi nating opera. Okay? Sige, next tayo. Here are the local theaters in early Philippine operas. Isa-isahin natin ano-ano sila. Here are the local theaters. To start off with Zorilla Theater. It is in 1817 to 1893. Among all the theater here in the country, Zorilla yung nauna. Okay? Followed by Príncipe Alfonso Theater. And then we also have Variedades Theater, Quiapo Theater, Tondo Theater, Manila Grand Opera House in the mid-19th, and then Metropolitan Theater. So, ipapakita ko sa inyo ano yung mga itsura ng mga yan. Sa sobrang tagal na panahon na, syempre yung mga nakuhang pictures ay hindi na rin ganun kalinaw. But then, I still have them. Okay, Zorilla Theater from 1817 to 1893. Ganito yung itsura ng theater na meron dati. Zorilla Theater. Okay? So, kung mapapansin ninyo, baka wala na rin yan ngayon sa circulation, yung theater na yan, baka napalitan na ng ibang establishment yan. Posible. Kasi sa tagal ba naman ng panahon. Okay? And then, they also have Príncipe Alfonso Theater. Kung ikukumpara natin, ang Zorilla Theater at ang Alfonso Theater, we could say na mas malaki talaga yung Príncipe Alfonso Theater. At mas maraming tao yung pwedeng manood. Okay? Next, the Variedades Theater. Okay, meron din yan. Yung Variedades Theater na yan. Next, the Quiapo Theater. From its name, sa Quiapo po siya matatagpuan. Okay? And we also have Manila Grand Opera. Sa panahon ngayon, parang wala na ito kung hindi ako nagkakamali. Pero I'm going to search for it kung meron pa ba siya. Hanapin natin, alamin natin kung nag-exist pa ba to. And then, eto, sure akong nag-exist pa yung Metropolitan Theater kasi napuntahan ko pa ito, somewhere in Manila. Okay? Next. Okay. Balikan muna natin yung Sandugong Panaginip. Sandugong Panaginip is the first opera or the first opera performed here in our country. Since sa Zurilla Theater ang pinakanauna sa lahat ng mga theater na nabanggit ko kanina, doon siya pinalabas. Okay? Sandugong Panaginip is composed by Ladislao Bonus, the father of Philippine opera. Said to be the first Filipino opera, yung Sandugong Panaginip nga, by Pedro Paterno, a poet, novelist, musician, and government official ng La Alianza Soniada. This was first presented at the Zurilla Theater on August 2, 1902. It was later translated by the Englishman M.W. Loving with the title The Dream Alliance. Okay? Siguro naman familiar kayo dun sa sa sandugo na salita. Okay? Yun. Yung ginawa ng mga tao nung panahon ng pananakop ng Kastila. Okay? Ito yung mga itsura ng mga tao during that time. So kung mapapansin ninyo, 'di ba, ang itsura nila ay talagang sophisticated, modest. O tingnan niyo naman yung mga itsura nila. Next, we have here Bonifacio Abdon, the first Filipino opera conductor. Ano ba ibig sabihin natin conductor? Siya yung nagli-lead ng buong opera performance. Yun yung tinatawag natin na conductor. Siya yung nasa harapan, siya yung nasa gitna, siya yung nagli-lead or leader siya ng isang performance ng opera. Okay, si Abdon. Next, Dr. Ramon Javier, first Filipino empresaryo. Ano ba yung empresaryo na ibig sabihin? Pag sinabi nating empresaryo during that time, he is the organizer of the opera. Okay? He promoted local talents to participate in foreign production kasi naniniwala siya na may kakayanan ang mga Pilipino na mag-perform not only here in our country but also abroad. Kaya siya yung naging empresaryo. Empresaryo means the organizer of the opera for the Filipino performers. Okay? So, tandaan natin si Dr. Ramon Javier, the first empresario. Next, we have here Patricio Mariano. He wrote the Lakang-Bini that was first staged at the Metropolitan Theater in December 1933. Napakatagal na panahon na. Ito yung mga popular singers during that time. We have here Nelia Manalo, Mercedes Matias Santiago, Jovita Fuentes. Okay? Next, in the Cultural Center of the Philippines or ang pamilyar tayo sa mga performances na ginaganap sa CCP. Okay, CCP yan kung tawagin natin. Yung mga performance dyan, kasi nag-i-exist pa yung CCP yung mga local performances dyan din ginaganap. Kunyari, may congregation, so sa CCP yan gaganapin. Established by then First Lady Imelda Romualdez Marcos in 1969, paved the way for other Filipino operas to be staged at legitimate venue of international standard. Ibig sabihin, pag sinabi natin fave, siya yung nagbigay daan. Yon, sino yon? Si Imelda Marcos, na asawa ng namayapang si Ferdinand Marcos. Okay, yung dating presidente natin. Okay? Next. We also have here Felipe Padilla de Leon. He composed Noli Me Tangere and Il Filibusterismo, presented at the CCP Main Theater in 1970 and 1975. Famous Filipino operas. Ito yung mga yon. Isa sa mga pinakasikat na Filipino opera na meron sa bansa natin ay ang La Loba Negra or The Black She-Wolf. If I'm not mistaken, I was able to send it into our GC. Panoorin nyo kung ano yung bumubuo sa kwento na yan. Okay? Next, a 3-act Filipino opera. The music was composed by Francisco Feliciano with libretto. Ano nga ulit yung libretto? These are the texts wherein the performance for opera comes here. Okay? By soprano Fides Cuyugan Asensio. Okay, next. Noli Me Tangere, a 3-act opera composed by national artist Felipe Padilla de Leon with libretto by national artist Guillermo Tolentino. It premiered in 1957 at the FEU Auditorium. Next. El Filibusterismo, it was written 4 years after the Noli Me Tangere. It was in 3 acts and written in Tagalog. Okay, so ginamit na language dito ay Tagalog. Okay, during that time. Nauna yung Noli Me Tangere and then after 4 years, nagpalabas sila ng El Filibusterismo. So, yun yung tungkol sa opera. Okay, so balikan natin yung mga pinakamahalaga or yung pinaka-famous opera na meron sa Pilipinas. Yung una ay ang La Loba Negra. Next ay ang Noli Me Tangere and then Il Filibusterismo. When you were in grade 9, you know the story of Noli Me Tangere and now you are in grade 10, you are studying Il Filibusterismo so you can relate into it. Okay? So next tayo, let's have ballet in the Philippines. Okay, let's have the first one. The Filipino ballet present folk tales based on local fables and epics from neighboring regions. Isa-isahin muna natin. Ano nga ba yung ibig sabihin ng folk tales? Pag sinabi nating folk tales, mga kwentong bayan, okay? And then pag sinabi naman nating fables or yung sa Tagalog pabula, yan yung mga kwento na ang mga character ay mga hayop. Kunyari, si Pagong at si Conejo. So, that's one example. Okay? Next. Lola Basyang, a ballet adaptation of Severino Reyes folktales, mga kwento ni Lola Basyang. It was meant to instill and rekindle. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng rekindle? To revive, muling pag-alabin yung interest ng mga Filipino youth in the beauty, richness, and heritage of Philippine literature. So maraming kwento ng Lola Basyang na ginawang ballet. Okay? Ballet performance. Ginawa siyang ballet performance. Next, we have here Ramahari. Pag sinabi nating Ramahari, it is translated as King Rama, is the Philippine adaptation of the Indian epic Ramayana. The original is what we call the Ramayana. Nung nagkaroon ng translation dito sa atin, tinawag naman siyang Ramahari. Okay? It is set to music, dance, and drama. Okay. So, yun yung patungkol sa atin sa ballet. Most important thing we need to remember about ballet is dalawa lang. Una, yung mga kwento ni Lola Basyang, and then the other one is yung Ramahari, which the original one is the Ramayana from India. So now, let us proceed with musical play in the Philippines. In the Philippines, the musical play rely mostly on the adaptation from novels, mga nobela daw, literary works, yung mga sinulat, or biographical sketches of famous artists. O pwede nating ipasok dyan yung mga naging buhay ng bayani. So, pwede nating ilagay sa musical play. So, ito pa yung ibang karakteristik ng musical play. Musical play is lighter from the opera. Mas mabigat daw yung opera. Mas magaan lang i-perform ang musical play. Themes are usually contemporary. Acting is less intense and dramatic. Hindi ganun kalala or hindi ganun katindi as long as ma-provide lang yung hinihingi ng kwento. Okay? And then we also have the term Broadway musical. Showboat was the first Broadway musical which featured the popular mode of transport in the American frontier. Okay? Other terms we have here, Shamisei royalty in The King and I, My Fair Lady, The Sound of Music, and then we also have here Camelot and then The West Side Story. Okay? Kagaya ng nabanggit ko kanina, pag sinabi natin musical play, pwede nating ipasok yung mga naging buhay ng mga bayani. Kaya ang example na naririto ay Andres Bonifacio, ang dakilang anak Pawis. It is a 5-act work commissioned by Alfonso Puyat in 1979 depicting the life of revolutionary hero Andres Bonifacio. And music was by Jerry Dadap. Remember, si Jerry Dadap ay isa sa mga napag-aralan natin during the last quarter that we had, which is in third quarter. Okay? And then the other one is Atang Dulang May Musical. It is a musical based on the life of the first superstar of the Philippines, Atang de la Rama. So yung buhay, 'di ba sabi natin, mga famous people pwede nating ipasok sa musical play. So yung buhay ni Atang de la Rama ay isinabuhay through musical play at ang tawag doon ay Atang Dulang May Musical. Okay? Next, let's have the next one. It is written by Floyd Quintos and directed by Alexander Cortez, was shown at UP Diliman in 2008 as part of the Zarzuela Festival organized by the UP College of Arts and Letters. Next. Meron pa ba? Okay, we also have here Cathy. It is about the life of vaudeville star Cathy de la Cruz. O baka hindi kayo familiar sa vaudeville. Pag sinabi natin vaudeville, this is a popular genre of entertainment. That is vaudeville. Okay? Popular genre of entertainment. Okay. Next, the music and musical arrangement were done by Nonong Buencamino. The play commissioned by Ryan Cayabyab. For the music, Jose Abrieres for the lyrics and starred Mitch Valdez in the title role. Okay, si Mitch Valdez ay isang performer din yan na siyang gumanap ng Cathy. Next, Florante at Laura, when you were in second year or when you were in grade 8, you're able to study about Florante at Laura, which is it is written by Francisco Balagtas Baltasar. It was presented in the celebration of the 200th birth anniversary of the author Francisco Balagtas Baltasar. Okay? And then they also have Daragang Magayon. It is based on a poem by Merlinda Bobis. It was produced by the CCP Women's Desk and the Coordinating Center for Dance to celebrate Women's Month. Okay? Next, Magsimula Ka. It is the story of young dreamers whose ambitions begin to fade in life's realities. They are part of the graduating class filled with hope but end up compromising their idealism for their own survival. Napakaganda nung palabas na to. I was able to watch it kasi tungkol to sa mga estudyanteng ginawa nila ang lahat para lang makagraduate. Okay? Ginawa nila ang lahat ng paraan para maabot yung mga pangarap nila. Kaya tinawag silang young dreamers. And yung kanta na to, pag napakinggan nyo, parang nakakilabot lang kasi it will also pertain to the students like you who are dreaming, who are aiming to achieve your goals and ambitions in life. Yung magsimula ka, yan, mga ganun. So, it is by Guinness Tan, staged at the CCP Main Theater from April 7 to 24, 1988. One of the longest running musical at the CCP. Kasi nga, napakaganda talaga ng kwento nito. Thank you for listening. I hope you're able to learn for this afternoon. And if you have questions, I am going to entertain your questions as long as you're going to ask things that are related to our topic or lesson for this quarter. Once again, thank you so much for listening. Ito yung bumubuo sa ating art lesson. Okay? Salamat!